I asked for Godzilla, but I will take Bigfoot. That's it. That's my intro. Hey, I'm Amanda. I'm professionally curious and I talk for a living. And you're watching Swell Entertainment, the channel where I share whatever I'm obsessed with that week with you. And today we are talking about how there have been quite a lot of supposed Bigfoot sightings in Ohio. I broke out my scholarly glasses. Longtime viewers know we only break these out when I want to, engage with some scholarly discussions, because I love Bigfoot. I really do. I went to a Bigfoot research conference last year. If you've been subscribed to the channel for a while, you guys know I used to review basically like every single Bigfoot documentary and movie that I could find. There hasn't been a lot in a minute, I feel like, other than like the usual suspects of the Bigfoot hunting shows. But I feel like, when you're trying to make an episode every single week, we just start phoning it in like the ghost hunting shows. So alas, do I believe in Bigfoot? I don't know. I think a true scientist is always willing to accept new information and, be in pursuit of new knowledge and new species because, I don't know, the world's on fire. It would make sense if we started seeing new things. I think there was like 2 doomsday fish spotted recently. That's not a good sign. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past Bigfoot to be like, y'all are in a crisis. I'm on my way, like Super Nanny. We're open to things here. I'm open to new information. I'm curious. I'm nosy. It would be fun if Bigfoot was real, in my opinion. If you want to check out the Bigfoot Research Conference video, I'll have that link down below. But my main issue with Bigfoot people, Bigfoot researchers, because I'll suspend my disbelief, okay? I literally shared a couple of my own, ghost stories or cryptid stories while I was at this event, and they just like applied everything that I shared. Like they were like Bigfoot. Meanwhile, the alien people that I've been around do the same thing. I think there is this desperation to believe, which I understand. Any piece of information, they will apply their own logic to it to make it confirm their conclusion for their beliefs. You know what I'm saying? I'll listen to your evidence. I will look at this foot casting that you have on your table. Oh, this is one that you bought off of Amazon? Why is it next to the one that you're telling me is one that you took in the woods and neither of them are marked? Why are these right next to each other, unmarked, undistinguishable from each other? Oh, you have this binder of what you literally wrote evidence on? Why is there just photocopies of various sightings and orbs? And there's not even, give me a timestamp at the very least. Give me a time of when this photo was taken. How about a location? I just want proper evidence collection. And like literally while I was doing research for this video from the Bigfoot Society, because they're the ones that are documenting most of this, these sightings and these stories, like people are writing in and sharing these stories with them, which they're doing great work and they are dating things and such and on this map. But I found their Bigfoot sighting map from their site, and they have Bigfoot sightings from around the globe. Not a single one of them on this map has a date attached to it that I can visibly see. And that drives me crazy because when you date things, you often can find trends like we're seeing right now, where like in the last, I think it was 120 hours at the time we were recording this, there's been 8 various sightings across Ohio from different parts heading south, which when you track it like this, you can see the trend, which would make it seem like at the very least these people are probably seeing something similar. There is no video that I can see. There is no photos that have been shared. Bigfoot Society is asking for people to check their security cameras and doorbells and all of that. And I'm like, okay, if we have these, why is there no footage? I have now found these videos that were posted. These are both claiming to be from the Ohio area. I'll have them linked down below. I don't trust it because of AI, but that's just me. Now, that's one of the arguments that everyone always says. It's like, okay, well, if Bigfoot is real, with everyone having a 4K phone in their pocket, as I've talked about in various other topics on this channel, like it's very hard to cheat, lie, sneak around, get away with things these days because you could be, living undercover for years and someone doing a matcha taste test video is gonna film you. You're in the background of that video and surprise, we got you. Like, yeah, why would we not have footage of aliens, Bigfoot, etc.? I bought a copy at a magazine stand the other day of Skeptic magazines, or if you go to skeptic.com, you can find the same article. I'll have it linked down below. Where have all the UFOs, Yetis, demons, and ghosts gone? I was flipping through this magazine. This might be the most AI art-filled publication I've ever seen in my life. I was actually horrified by the amount of AI art in this physical magazine that I bought. I'm trying to keep print media alive, and you're making me look at AI slop? What are we doing? No, I'm open to the possibility of Bigfoot. I refuse to fund AI art usage, okay? Hire an artist. Apparently this one does have an actual piece of art illustrated for Skeptic, which is nice. This is basically talking about, like, you know, we have all these high definition phones. Why don't we have more footage? And then when we do get footage, it is grainy and, you know, unseeable, basically. Like, for the most part, very unclear. If you watch my Twitch streams whatsoever, we have a favorite frenemy AI slop channel called Wilderness Whispers. Wilderness Whispers, the channel itself is like an AI voice thing. There's probably a human behind it, but like the voice is AI. But the people that they show, it's like a compilation channel of like terrifying videos from camping encounters on YouTube, you know, and they go and find a good variety of creators, which is why we like still watch these videos. I feel like once every 3 camping videos, there's at least one Bigfoot possible encounter. And 90% of the time, I kid you not, it is very clearly just a dude hiking in a black like hiking gear. Like, that's it. There's a few times where I'm like, okay, I could see that, but like it's never clear footage, okay? Even though for some of the other videos it's very clear. Like the same way when we talked about Kin Panama here last year, which was a very clearly fake alien, you know, crash landing infestation. But we talked about it as if it was real. Within like, I think 2 or 3 days of that video coming out, Ken was like, yeah, this is fake. Here you go. Here's how we did it, which I was impressed by how he did it. So, you know, give him that. One of the telltale signs of that video of like, it's at least fake is every time the animal thing was like in view, the footage quality dive bombed. I think if I was a Bigfoot investigator person, okay, and I'm open. I'm a skeptic because I think that's healthy, but you know, I'm open to things. I'm literally going on a ghost hunt when I'm in Japan. By the time this video comes out, I may already have done it, but like, I'm very excited. I do think that, you know, Japanese ghosts might be more real than the ones here in the United States. So am I worried? Yeah, because they don't care if I believe in them or not. If they want to get me, they will. Again, like, I'm willing to suspend my disbelief, but if I was y'all, I would be arguing that like Bigfoot is radioactive. Because have you ever seen what happens to cameras when you're in the presence of radiation? Uranium, the elephant's foot, you know, Chernobyl. The quality of the camera does nosedive because the radiation is reacting with the technology. Same with film, etc. I'm just saying I would be running with that because it's like, yeah, that's why the cameras get so blurry. Bigfoot is messing with the technology. I think that makes more sense than like psychic Bigfoot is making it so you can't see him. I think that makes more sense, frankly. I believe in radiation. I don't know if I believe in psychics, low-key. No, actually, I do believe in psychics. I just think there's a lot of charlatans because like there are a lot of things that you can fake psychically. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's like, is Amanda okay? I get bored. I want whimsy. This is me seeking whimsy.
Bigfoot is terrorizing Northeast Ohio. That's what the internet's saying. Apparently, there's been 6 Bigfoot sightings in the last 4 days across Portage and Trumbull County. March 6th, someone reports a 9-foot-tall all-brown Sasquatch in Mantua. March 9th, an 8-foot-tall all-black Sasquatch in Garrettsville. There's a couple face-to-face encounters they don't go into detail about. According to the Bigfoot Society, it's still going down because last night at 4 a.m., someone in Newton Falls says a 10-foot-tall, shadowy Bigfoot came crashing through their backyard. Ohio, are you okay?
Bigfoot in Ohio, this is from the Columbus Dispatch by Alex Perry. Is Bigfoot in Ohio? Recent sightings, more on Ohio's mythical creatures. I do love when a state claims that Bigfoot is theirs. I love it. I'll never forget when I talked about, I went to the Bigfoot research conference in Florida, and everyone was like, there's no Bigfoot in Florida. I was like, yeah, there is. According to them, Ocala National Forest. I just find it funny that some people are like, no. This is a Northwest. This is a Northwest thing. Is Bigfoot lurking in Ohio? Possibly. Multiple Bigfoot sightings were reported over the weekend in Northeast Ohio, sparking a renewed interest around the mysterious creature. The Bigfoot Society, a podcast and Facebook group with more than 280,000 followers, says there has been 6 reported sightings in 5 days, with the most recent reported sighting in Newton Township area early March 10th. Previous reports have centered around Ohio's Portage County. As I'm recording this, we are up to 8 sightings. I will add in and edit if there is more. Other than the videos I showed earlier, there are seemingly no official reported Bigfoot sightings further. However, there was a meteor that like exploded and let out like a sonic boom over Northeast Ohio, which is north of where all of this was. So some people are now believing that maybe the Bigfoot, Big Fi, whatever this thing was fleeing, but we'll get to that in a second. Bigfoot buzz is growing in Ohio. Here's what to know about the sightings, plus more cryptids that may lurk across the state. The latest sightings was reported around 4 a.m. on March 10th in Newton Township, located in Trumbull County in Northeast Ohio. According to a post on Facebook, a witness account reported a backyard sighting described to be something like a large black shadow in the trees between 8 and 10 feet tall. Between 8 and 10 feet, I respect that because, you know, anything over 6'5", I don't compute that as like a height, like for like an actual being. So like between 8 and 10, yeah, that's a large discrepancy. But like after a certain height, I feel like most people can't determine like how tall something is. So we just start guessing. Reports have also come from other parts of Ohio, including Mantua, Garrettsville, and Windham, also in Northeast Ohio. This is the most documented Bigfoot activity since the 1970s, Bigfoot Society's host Jeremiah Byron said in a post on March 10th. No recent Bigfoot reports have been filed with local sheriff's offices so far, according to Canton Repository. It is interesting because I'm looking at this image. So this is from the Bigfoot Society. Trumbull County, Bigfoot, the surge is moving east. As I was seeing it, it was moving south. Got some of the markings. So Mantua Center, 2 sightings on 3-6 and 3-7. Okay, fairly close to each other. Then Garrettsville had 2 sightings on 3-9. I find it interesting that these are seemingly different people. They all seemingly are reporting to Bigfoot Society, which I mean, I don't know how prevalent Bigfoot Society is in Ohio, but I do find it interesting that they're not reporting this to anyone else. There seemingly have been no encounters reported to the police, they are saying. I feel like I would have less questions about this if we had a handful of sightings reported to Bigfoot Society, a handful of like 1 or 2 even being reported to the police department, fire department, on Facebook, neighborhood, the next door app, you know, like I think this would be, I would have less questions if we saw more scattering of where the reports were being reported. You know what I'm saying? 1 sighting in Windham on 3-9. And then here's all the different reports, which I do find interesting, of like the reports of what they are seeing, because I don't think everyone is Bigfoot pilled in Ohio. I don't think that. Could you be? Sure. I am intrigued because this crosses a highway. There's a lot of sightings along a highway here. But between Garrettsville and Windham, they would have to cross at least one highway, the 80, if not the 82, 88. I don't know if, you know, what the state of the highway is. But then Newton Township between the 9th and the 10th is quite a further distance, seemingly, again, moving south. But again, we're crossing the 5 here as well. And I don't know how big these roads are. We don't know when they're moving. This is at night. Seemingly all the locations are private residences that are seeing these species.
Bigfoot Society just received its 7th Bigfoot sighting in 4 days in Northeast Ohio. I just got off the phone tonight with an anonymous female witness that had quite the account to share. This happened March 9th, 2026 at 8 p.m. Ohio time. The witness and her daughter were driving Route 303 between Streetsboro and Hudson. They got within feet of a Bigfoot while in their car. They were passing the Tinkers Creek area when a 6.5-foot lean brown Bigfoot appeared in their lane but going against the flow of traffic. They were so close that the witness said that her daughter could have reached out and hit the Bigfoot with her arm. They described something that looked like it had a blurred face with no visible eyes, with hair that was lighter around the facial features. Tall, not bulky, lean, but with arms that were extremely long. The witness also described it had a strange stilt-like walk. It's important to point out the witness had not seen the rest of my videos before the encounter. They looked in the rearview mirror, and the creature vanished in the dark swamp area of Tinkers Creek. She was so freaked out she couldn't turn around and go back. She's not a Bigfoot person.
Now, I am so curious. Like I said, I'm 5'2", okay? Anything over 6 feet, I just like, yeah, it's bigger than 6 feet. Like it doesn't compute to me, not really, because like that, you know, doesn't make sense. Okay? So I want more information of the people that are reporting this, because I do think that plays a role in what they are reporting. You know what I'm saying? Because low key, men, I think you guys exaggerate height. Not even just on yourselves, but I think you would exaggerate height on what stressed you out. So I'm more inclined to believe the 6 foot in Wyndham than I am to believe the 10-foot in Newton Township. Just saying. I'm just saying. Like, I need more information. I did listen to one of the reports that was reported on Bigfoot Society on TikTok. We'll share some of these. Like, is this just a fucked up bear? Like, brown bears can look black. Black bears can look brown. So this is from incident number 6 in Newton Township in Trumbull County on March 10th at 4 a.m. The encounter, a resident was letting their German Shepherd out on a chain when the dog immediately went into a high aggression lunge towards the woodline. The subject, the witness, observed a massive black shadow estimated between 8 and 10 feet tall crashing through the brush. The witness was clear this was way bigger than a bear. Biological evidence, the most chilling detail, once back inside, the brave German Shepherd, a breed known for its courage, was visibly shaking with fear. What a Bigfoot Society seems to believe is happening is that there is a group of Bigfoot or Bigfoot-like creatures that are moving east to south, okay? And then the reason that there's this many sightings is one is off and is working quickly to try and catch up, which is why there are so many sightings, potentially. I could buy it. We'll see. We prioritize your privacy. All witnesses can remain 100% anonymous to prevent trespassing on your property. I do respect that. Unfortunately, we have seen historically with anything paranormal, cryptid related, you do have, as soon as a report is publicized, get a lot of people showing up at your location. And a lot of these times this is private residences. So I do respect keeping it private. I would like a little bit more information about the reports just from the reporters because I do think that also can play a role. Everyone has their eyes open in Northeast Ohio currently, and we are extremely excited that this could lead to more understanding and clarity about the world's last great mystery, Bigfoot. I don't think this is the last great mystery. The first report received by the Bigfoot Mapping Project was on March 6th, and unusually it took place in broad daylight. According to a social media post from the Bigfoot Society, the witness was out in the field in this area when they locked eyes with a 9-foot-tall brown-haired Sasquatch. They added the terrifying thing is that this happened in broad daylight at 12:23 p.m. Would I be more scared at night or during the day if I was camping and I saw Bigfoot? No, you know what? I think I'd be more scared during the day. The same way I was like more jarred when I had a coyote cross my path when I was hiking in Peters Canyon in like 2019. There had been a bunch of coyote sightings during the day because we were in a drought, because California is often in a drought. That hike my dad had warned me about because there was a child at a soccer game that had been like grabbed by a coyote in broad daylight. My dad was like, hey, be careful. The coyotes are getting crazy. And I was like, there's not gonna be a coyote. Sure enough, on that hike, my way out, so not even my way back, I like stopped for a second and like just directly crossed my path. And I was like, God damn it. It was like it was a coyote. It didn't bother me. It looked at me and kept going. You know, I'm 5'2", but I am bigger than a coyote, you know, and I didn't have a dog with me or anything like that. I just warned other people on the hike, like, hey guys, keep a hold on your dog, you know, because that was more so what we heard at the time is that coyotes like snatching up like chihuahuas and stuff. Yeah, I think a Bigfoot sighting during the day would stress me out more. At night, I would be like, yeah, this makes sense. I'd be stressed out because, you know, woman, night, giant thing. I don't know your intentions. Are you closer to a man or to a bear? This would determine my fear level. I'm gonna get more angry emails. The amount of emails I got from the Looks Maxing videos. Side note, some of you are dumb. And I don't think anyone's ever told you that. And someone should tell you that. For the men that have emailed me since the Looks Maxing video. Out in the field in this area. What field? I want follow-up. Is anyone asking more questions? Side note, if you are one of these sightings, if you would like to do an anonymous interview on my stream, I will ask a lot of questions, but I will be patient. Okay. I will be asking a lot of questions. If you don't want to do a live version, we can just do a video call and I have questions. You know what? We don't have to broadcast it. I just have questions. Let me know. In the case of the recent sighting, a Bigfoot Society spokesperson said the witness was 120 yards away when the creature realized that it was being watched. It didn't make a noise, but it started to move. Move? How? The witness admitted that they got out of the areas quickly because when a 9-foot apex predator decides that the encounter is over, you don't want to stick around. How do we know it's an apex predator? Real talk. They're probably herbivores. You know, like real talk. I feel like if they weren't herbivores, we would have found more evidence of Bigfoot. If they were omnivores, we would find more evidence of like carcasses and things of that nature. But you know, that's just me. It started to move how? Like Like it's coming at you, like it moved like away from it started to move away from you. How did it move? Did it run? Did it keep eye contact to maintain with you the way that you would if a bear was following you? Like how did it? I have behavioral questions. Eyewitnesses accounts. Sometimes when you're scared, like you can't determine like what looked like what, how someone acted. You're just like, this is wrong, and then you're like, oh my God, and like you activate removing yourself, but I just have more questions, and I don't know if anyone's asking the questions. Late in the evening the following day, a second encounter took place when a hiker heard something unusual as they wandered in woodland not far from the previous day's sightings. The footsteps were too low and too spaced out and way too heavy for a deer or another hiker. What do you mean too low? The footsteps were too low but too heavy? What do you mean? Then just 40 yards away, a massive 8-foot-tall creature stepped out from behind the trees. Dark hair, long arms, and it turned its face to just look directly at the hiker. Unlike the daytime sightings, this one actually vocalized. According to the witness's account, the hiker added that they heard a deep, echoing grunt that vibrated through the trees, and after that, it was total silence. A search of the area revealed 2 large humanoid footprints pressed into the earth. Since then, just 2? Okay, maybe this is the YouTube pilled brain. Okay? Even hiking. Even if I was just out in nature, I have something on me. I have a phone, I have a camera, I have something. Like you got close to where it was enough to see that there was footprints. You may not have seen which direction it went. You may not be able to see it any further. You may not hear it any further. I am paranoid. I would assume that thing is watching me in that moment, okay? But I'm taking a photo of those fucking prints. I may not follow them, but I'm taking a photo. At the very least, taking a video, taking a timestamp, an audio video diary at the very least of hi. I don't know how to explain what I just saw, but I want to mark the time right now. Here's where I am. Here's my location. Here's what's here. Taking video. Okay? I'm doing something. We have 8 sightings and no one's doing that. And I'm not saying anyone's lying. I'm just like, if this is one or multiple Bigfoots, did they all seemingly stumble upon the people that are actually using analog bags and are trying to cut down on their screen time? Did they find the Luddites? No one took a phone video, nothing. If any of these were like, as I went to reach for my phone to take a video, it bolted, I would understand that, because I don't know if you guys heard about the woman that was attacked by the snow leopard. Side note, there's apparently like no recorded snow leopard attacks until this woman was attacked because she stopped to take a selfie with it. And then immediately it mauled her face. I guess it was reported that if she wasn't wearing her ski helmet or her helmet in general, that it would have been a fatal attack. But thankfully she was wearing a helmet. They may not know that this is a phone, but they may know something. It's a something. They may think it's a gun. They may think it's a weapon. They may think it's what's that? The same way the snow leopard did. I would understand it more if it's like I went to grab my phone and it bolted. I would understand that report, but we don't have those reports. And I don't know if that's a lack of questions. I don't know. But I have questions. And I don't know if the questions are being asked. Another broad daylight sightings took place on March 10th when a woman described as a highly credible resident reported seeing an unexplained humanoid creature. Is she a PTA mom? What does that mean? Demographically, I feel like some would say I would highly credible, but I feel like if you know anything about me, you'd be like, I don't know. Do you guys think of me as a highly credible resident? Highly credible YouTuber? I ask you guys to ask questions. So like, I don't know. Maybe you guys are not the demographic to ask. Maybe my neighbors. Should I ask them? Am I a highly credible resident? I have a fuck ass dog. So like, I don't know if that does that negate things? I have a schnauzer. Can you trust people with schnauzers? Mini schnauzers. I don't know. Reported seeing an unexplained humanoid creature from her window for a full 30 seconds. Around 7 feet tall with dark reddish brown fur, the beast was big, fat, round, muscular arms, and a powerful, heavy frame ran past the woman's house, ducking under heavy tree limbs and underbrush to vanish into the woods. It didn't seem like no deer, the witness said. A familiar but larger creature has been sighted a few miles north of her location near the village of Newton Falls. The 10-foot behemoth seems to be converging on the location. See, I'm so confused. I do find it fascinating that these reports, they are seeing it as multiple creatures and not discrepancies in witness testimony. Like, because that can also happen. It's very common that happens. Lots happening. Everyone has their own, shenanigans in their brain. So it's understandable that, oh, you may see the same thing, the same being, but you would have totally different interpretations of how it looked, how it acted, where it was. The only thing that we could maybe determine is when it was, but we're not even being super clear. I don't know. I don't know why we're assuming it's multiple Big Fi and not discrepancies in witness testimony, because the reports of the sightings make sense if it is one being that is moving on its own to try and catch up with a pack or something. Jeremiah Byron says he received a report of another sighting in nearby Streetsboro on Monday. In this case, the witness was not a Bigfoot person and hadn't been aware of any of the other encounters. Why did he know to contact you? Because even when I search Bigfoot sightings, aside from the articles, the Bigfoot Society does not show up on this first page on Google. Like, there's literally a different Bigfoot map on here that I'm looking at. These ones have dates. I'll give you this. This is the founder of MTCR. I found possible tracks Tuesday following day of the filing describing the encounter. I do like this map more than the other map for the Bigfoot mapping project because there's dates on things. To even make a mapping, you have to fill out quite a bit of information, which I do appreciate. For r/Bigfoot, they've been talking about this. And also the issue is, I think with AI images is very good at analog style images. Any security footage, a low light selfie on an iPhone outside of a bar at night. That's why we're seeing a lot of like really weird fan photos of them like editing themselves with like One Direction members, 5 Seconds of Summers, Formula One drivers. So some of these like grainy wilderness, oh, it's zoomed in photos, AI is really good at those. And so some of these I don't trust. All right, the subreddit is a lot of fan art of Bigfoot, like Bigfoot fan pages, which is fine. 8th Bigfoot sighting in 5 days. There hasn't been any in a couple days at the time of me recording this, it looks like, but we'll see. I mean, maybe I have to make edits, but overall, this is a fun trend, I guess. I have questions. Not discrediting anything because we don't have enough to discredit, but I do find it interesting that there's not a variety of reporting, like overall, like as far as where these reports are being made. If we had one police sighting here, 1 or 2 to the Bigfoot Society, a few Facebook posts, things here and there, but the lack of that, I'm not saying I'm suspicious, I just have questions. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, do you think the Bigfoot is in Ohio? Do you think Ohio has Bigfoot? Big feet? Big fi. What do you call multiple Bigfoots? Do you think it's multiple Bigfoots? Do you think it's one? What are your thoughts on Bigfoot in general? Do you get annoyed when I make videos like this? Let me know. Comment down below. Reminder, I stream on Twitch. My Swell Entertainment is now available on Spotify. Reminder, check out Girly Pop Go if you'd like to see more car and motorsport content. Shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much for supporting me on channel memberships. Also, like support me on channel memberships. You can go and join up below if you'd like to follow me on social media. That'll be up here. And that's me. Have a day. Goodbye. I don't know. I feel like herbivores make the most sense to me. If not omnivores that just prefer plants.